Hey everybody, it's Caffeine Injected. Today we're gonna take a look at outside. I don't know why they called it outward. I guess we're outward bound. Um, so this is an RPG, open world RPG, kind of, sort of open world. Got a lot of publicity. I was kind of excited to play it. I saw some coverage by Nathan Napalm, and this guy that I like quite a bit. But I got to tell you, I mean, I'm not super impressed. This isn't really like I guess it's kind of a first take video, but it's more of just I wanted to show you some things about the game that I like and some of the things that I don't like. So let's go. And I think, first of all, the graphics in the game are really subpar for a game that's come out this year. And I'm not going to knock on it too much because Nine Studios, Nine Dot Studios, whatever, it's not a big company, not super huge. So you don't expect that they have a ton of resources to really focus on this. And you can tell that they focus more on some of the other aspects of the game. So let's just go ahead. This guy's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about the. Well, I'll take a look at the character creator just real quick. The character creator is pretty bad. It's pretty awful actually. The models. I'll never understand how games can come out with characters that look. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to play an ugly old black lady? Maybe. And I'm not racist. I'm just saying she's an ugly old black lady. Trust me. There's ugly old white ladies in here too. Here's and this is supposed to be a female, by the way. That looks like a female. This kind of maybe looks like a female. I guess that's a female. Maybe we throw some hair on him. Here's another female. Ugh. What happened here? Did she fall off a tree and hit fall off the ugly tree and every branch on the way down? I don't know. These are some pretty awful looking character models. I don't know what's going on here. So the character creators is very lackluster. Let's just grab somebody who looks halfway decent. And decent. So the story here, tribe. You live with a tribe, and everybody kind of works hard and helps. They have a big wall around their little village to protect them. And here it is. At my life, I live in the city of Sears, spared by the brutality of the outside. And, they have harsh laws. Everybody has to do their part, that kind of thing. Do your part. Work for the tribe. All for one, one for all. Okay? Now what happened was your father died. When he died, he left with you lots of debts, and he basically didn't take good care of the family money. He was way behind on helping out with certain tribe duties. So basically the tribe's really mad at you. So you go on a voyage to, let me put this away, the torch away. You go on a ship voyage to try to make some money to help pay back what your family owes, and you got all this treasure on the ship, and everything looks great. And as you're coming right back into the city, for some reason the ship crashes right before you can get back to your tribe. Right before you get back to your village, the ship crashes. 10 people die. The tribe's now even more angry with you because you've been on a voyage where people from the tribe have died, like as if it's your fault, And let's go grab some stuff here. First off, one of my biggest complaint with the game, and I have this complaint with a lot of games that come out nowadays, is that it was obviously built for console. I'm on a PC. I'm not a console gamer. Consoles are fine. I hate controller movement. I'm an old school FPS player. There's nothing. I mean, I used to play, FPS games where I used a ball mouse, and I could perfectly flick my wrist with a ball mouse, and do like a 180 spin perfectly. You know what I mean? So I'm used to kind of moving with a mouse and a keyboard. So my problem with this is if I play a game like World of Warcraft and I'm turning like this and I move my hand on the mouse to the left, I'm just sliding the mouse across the mouse pad to the left, I should have a very smooth rate of turn. This looks pretty good, right? But I'm going very slowly. Notice what happens when I start to go faster. I actually spin faster than my character, so that the camera literally runs all the way around behind my character, even further than that. So the camera, in my opinion, is misaligned, with the way I'm looking. Now, I don't know if this is fixable. I don't believe it is. If I go into invert there's no like fixed camera or, there's nothing here that can really fix that. And it really is, it sucks, basically. It's really horrible, to be honest. All right, so that's enough of that. So that's my first complaint, and I had the same complaint with the games like Dark Souls, which is, I'm sure it's a great game. Lots of people love it, but on the PC, the controls are not what you would want. Let's just put it that way. And I've played thousands of PC games. Okay, so the ship crashed. We're on this little area outside of our village, I believe, because you can see a little wall over here that you can't get through. Or you're very close to your village. Make sure you run around, pick up stuff on the ground, things that you might need. Right there, I picked up like a fishing harpoon or something. And don't get me wrong, I know I sound kind of negative, but the game is pretty fun. But I mean, the graphics are, these graphics are really dated. All right, so you can hold down the shift key to sprint. Again, look, if I'm sprinting and I'm moving my mouse left and right, it's a little bit, the controls are pretty poor. And if you want to get a feeling of like what really good movement would look like, play something like Guild Wars 2. Move your character around in Guild Wars 2, jump, flip, whatever, and you'll see what I mean. The movement's far, far, far more superior than this. And for a game like this where combat is very dangerous, extremely dangerous, this is not an easy game. Okay, so when we go in here, I grab this machete. Let's go ahead and eat some of these berries that I picked up. Also, let's see if I can grab some water over here. I think this is fresh water. Yeah, so I'm going to hold T to drink some clean, fresh water. And on the bottom left side of my screen, you can see little arrows going out. This just means that I have some slight benefits, that my belly's full, I'm well hydrated. You can crouch. I hit the Z key to sheathe or unsheathe. I go to my skills here. I can click on any of these. Like, these are the ones you start the game with. Fire, reload, dagger, slash, push, kick, and throw lantern. You know, I haven't tried throw lantern, so let's click on this, right? Right click on it, sorry, and say assign. We're going to assign this to mouse button 5. I don't even have a lantern, right? I don't think. Let's take a look. No. Alright. So we're going to, here, now we're in combat with this hyena, right? So I slash. The hyena was going to jump away almost every time. So the AI is really, it doesn't do anything, you know, watch. I'm going to dodge back. That time he didn't dodge. Normally if I swing, they'll just jump back. Your best bet is to try to kick him. But here's the kicker. You can right click to block, right? And then try to swing, which works pretty well. In fact, it's in my opinion so far, your best bet at killing mobs is just to block and counter. But here's the really weird thing. If I hit tab key, let's run a little bit further away so I can do this. If you hit tab key, you lock on. Once you lock on, I can't rotate the screen. See, look, notice how it locks me into always facing the hyena. And it's very awkward in my opinion. I don't like it. I will say that if you're in combat in this game, that when you do lock in like that, if you plan on using like a lot of blocking and countering, which from what I've seen so far, and I've only played the game for about 8 hours, seems to work best, that it makes it easier because it always forces your character to be facing the target. But it's kind of like a hack. I mean, it's kind of like you're not really using your skill at moving your character to place your character where you want to be to actually make a hit. Now, the other thing to notice is when you swing in this game, there's an animation, right? See that swing animation? Notice how I swing forward, lunge forward, but then I bounce back. Watch how I step forward with my right foot, and after I swing, I step back with my right foot into my original stance. This is an animation. You can't cancel this animation. You can't do anything. So if I do this and try to dodge, it doesn't work, right? I do that, I hit my dodge. My dodge didn't even register because it hasn't finished the animation. Now if I do this and wait till right there, then dodge, it works. Okay? So that also is a little bit, I'm not a fan of that. I like games where if I do an animation and I want to break it off with an iframe roll, right? Like this. I want my roll to be able to break off my combat attack at any time. That gives me a lot more freedom. This way you have to be a lot more careful about what you're doing. You know, if I go up to this hyena again, I'm not locked in, right? Let's just take a swing at this guy. Missed. See, I wasn't able to roll until I finished my little animation there. I'm going to kick. We're going to totally wolf on that. But notice how I have to always turn my mouse to try to face, and then I always end up with the enemy almost always ends up behind me. Notice when I swing, a lot of times the enemy will end up kind of behind me because he'll attack. See how he's behind me? So it's, you have to do a lot of work to keep facing your target in this kind of a combat system. I'm going to run right at him and dodge. Oh, no, maybe pull up. I don't know what happened there. Right at him. Dodge. Kick. Kill the wolf. Swing. Block. That's another thing there. You want to make sure you only swing once there. I swung twice by accident. Now I'm going to lock in. I want to see if I can just kill this guy. But look how annoying this is. I'm not even doing anything. The computer is turning it for me. But you can see this way is much easier. I mean, it's easier because it always forces me to be facing the target. So my blocks are always going to be where they need to be to actually block the incoming attack. Let me see if I can block and kick here. Block, kick. And you see it's pretty tough. And there he hit me. Alright, so, I mean, right off the bat, I find the combat system very lackluster. I don't really care for the camera movement. I don't care for locking in. It feels extremely restrictive, but it's like the game almost forces you to either get really used to this wonky camera, you know, and of course I can change my DPI, right? So here's this. That's faster DPI, and this is the slowest DPI I have. Even with the slowest DPI I have, it's very easy to move the camera. It's harder to move it behind me, but I really don't like having a DPI setting this low. This is probably like a 300 DPI. This is probably like 600. I think is what I got right about now. I have to go back and look at my mouse settings, but so anyways, I'm not real happy with the combat. If you go on the Steam site and look through the reviews, you'll find that it's a pretty common complaint about this game. The game is very brutal. It's very easy to die, and the only reason it's really easy to die is because the way the combat is, it's kind of hard to always align your body to make the attacks in the right direction, and the way the mobs react, right? So, like, if I block, it's hard to lunge forward. So I block like this, and then I push forward. You don't really move. You're not really moving forward. Notice how when I push forward and hit the attack, I swing where I am and I move backwards. So it's hard to gain ground on the enemy. Now there's other skills and stuff you'll get later on that will, obviously give you more options that'll help you to overcome this issue. Let's just go ahead and get the hell out of here. Go into this, sleep. Once you sleep like this, I think the two major issues are the combat and the graphics. I mean, you can't beat on graphics too much. Graphics are graphics. Graphics aren't the game. It's just the way it looks. But I think also another thing that I don't like is I can't zoom in or zoom out with the camera. So I'm overburdened here. That's why I'm walking so slowly. But we're going to get a tiny little backpack here, which will help a little bit, or not. Let's screw all getting all this stuff here. So you start off, you just run around, loot some stuff, right? We're not going to do that. We're just going to get out of here. If I can find the way out here. Now you're going to come out, and these people are all going to, they're all going to yell at you. You owe us money. People died. It's your fault. Blah blah blah.
That does seem like you're never. Once you remember, you only have a few days.
She's like the village elder, and she saves your life there, basically, or doesn't save your life, saves you from losing your lighthouse. Oh, the other interesting thing is one guy says the reason the ship crashed is the lighthouse wasn't on. So it sounds like somebody's, you've got an enemy somewhere. So here's the village. Again, graphics aren't that great. I can't zoom my camera in and out. That really bothers me. The menu's actually, the AI is actually pretty, the UI is actually decent. Very simple, easy to navigate. But if you look at There is an FOV, which I've pushed up all the way. Field of view. Camera sensitivity you can play around with. Show HUD, blah, blah. None of this stuff really does a whole lot. Here's your... Now, I don't have the settings all the way up. But even if I go to, like, Ultra... My computer's kind of old, so I'm not sure how well this is going to run in Ultra. But this is Ultra settings, and, I mean, honestly... It doesn't look that much better to me. I can see that there's a little... My computer's having a little trouble rendering, but... Not a lot. It doesn't really look that much better. You know, the water's kind of, you know, so-so. But when you play the game, the first thing you want to do is go to the vendor here, and I'll show you guys.
Is there something you need?
Go to this guy, and let's start just selling stuff. We don't need this. So, actually, hold on a second. What do we have here? Let's equip. Okay.
Is there something you need?
You should basically just sell some of these things that you don't need. You don't need this mining pig because I know we're going to find another one. Get rid of this food. It's going to go bad anyway by the time I get to where I start cooking it. Get rid of these. Okay, sell. We're going to hit confirm. We're going to go down here and we are going to buy a backpack for 25 silver. Okay, confirm. We're going to go into my inventory. We are going to equip the backpack. You can just go into you can use the mouse right click to open up menus that allow you to do a lot of stuff. Okay, now we're going to get out of here. Once you equip that, it automatically drops the other backpack. So we're going to turn around. We're going to say open the backpack. Take all. Apparently there was nothing in it. So I guess I just took the backpack and threw it into my took this satchel, threw it into my bigger backpack. Now you've got a bigger backpack so you can move around freely because you can carry more. You know, you can run around here. There's a machete here. Grab this. There's some fish over here. Always catch all the fish. Okay, we're going to fish. I like the sound effect there of the water. It's very nice. You know, the fish you can sell or you can cook for food, which is good. And they give nice little benefits. So you definitely want to get all, you know, if you see fish and you can catch them, catch them. And then you have to go over here and get your little skin. Your water skin, grab that. We're going to gather some water. We're going to go ahead and drink some water. And we'll gather some water again. Okay. So as you can see, I mean, the village, the buildings all look the same. I mean, they're really, the design of them is pretty poor. In my opinion, they just look like log cabins, which, you know, look at this. Look at this window. You know, it's just very bland. You know. And for what I would have considered a fantasy RPG, but maybe it's not a fantasy RPG. It's more of like a log cabin out in the Wild West, you know, which is kind of strange to me. Because when I looked at the game, maybe it's my fault not reading it, but I looked at it, I just assumed it was a fantasy role-playing game, and it doesn't feel like that. Go to this guy, say I'm going outside. He's going to teach you some skill. Fine. Whatever. And we're going to head out into the world. Sure, this game, and this game is, it's a good game for certain people. But unfortunately, I set the bar high as far as what I expect of video games. That's just me personally. Part of that's because I'm a programmer. Part of that's because I'm a perfectionist, probably. And part of it's because I would like to make my own games myself. And I just find it frustrating that if this is your job, that maybe you don't put a little bit more into it to make it a little bit more refined. But, you know, there's other factors that go into it. I know how hard it is to maintain a schedule because I work in software development myself. So basically, you go in here, you interact with a tree, you get some wood. Let's turn the graphics down because there's a slight draw delay, and they're trying to hide it with a Gaussian blur. You can see that on the delay, it's blurring the screen to kind of hide the fact that my computer's struggling a little bit here. So we're just going to put it on high, apply. And on high, we have a little bit better movement. So now we're just going to run back into the sunshine. And I'm going to go to inventory. I want you to, oh, forget that. Okay, let's get our weapon out. It's so much easier when you lock on, but it's so much less enjoyable. You know, like I'm just basically spamming a button. How fun is it to just I right click block and then I just left click, right click, left click, left click. How exciting is that? It's not exciting at all. It's boring as fuck. All right, let's go back in here. Let's go to our. This is our crafting. So these are all the main things you can look at with your character. You've got your inventory. You've got what's equipped to your character's stats, some more information about your basic stats and your skills, some current effects on you, good or bad, your crafting, your quick slots, so for your skills, and then your actual skills, and your journal. So we're going to go to the crafting, we're going to the campfire. We've picked up some wood from the trees. Okay, now that you've done that, everything we can do here is we can right click, we can say deploy. I don't know if I have any flint, I don't think I do. So we're going to right click deploy, left click again to place it. It builds this fire. Now we're going to try to light it, but guess what? We don't have flint and steel, so that's fine. I didn't think we did. All right. And that's basically kind of an intro to the game. I mean, like these two mobs here, you try to take these two guys on, you will die. Do not even attempt to kill two mobs at once in the beginning of this game. You will get your ass handed to you. Unless you're just very patient. I mean, I could kill them if I was really, really patient and took my time and dodged a lot, but it would be slow and boring again as fuck. So, so first impressions, I really don't like Outward. Maybe you will. If you like a very lackluster combat system with lackluster graphics, I mean, look at these graphics. These are just planes. See the grass, the blades of grass here? They're just a plane where you've thrown a grass texture on there and animated, which is what you see in most games, but there's no real variation in the grass other than the size. It's nice that they did put some different flowers over here. Let's take a look at these rocks. The rock textures are okay. The moss is good. They put the moss in here. It's not bad. I mean, it's not horrible. But there's a lot of room for improvement. When I look off in the distance, I don't like what I see. You know, it's just... It looks like more of the same, you know what I mean? It's like... There's not a lot of variety in the terrain. It's like, let's throw like a little rocky hill. Let's throw some grass and some trees. Like one review on Steam, they said that the world seems very... It's not very filled out. There's not a lot of detail. And they're right. You know, I'm walking around and... You know, it's there's not a lot of detail here. I could probably count the different types of trees and textures they use pretty quickly. You know, some games I go into, there's so much varied textures and design that I'm like, I wouldn't even want to try that because there'd just be too much to count. But in here, I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, here's the 2 or 3 different types of trees, you know, maybe 2 or 3 different types of grass. And I'm just mixing and matching them everywhere, you know. So nothing too elaborate. You know, the in-game music is... Actually, I don't have it on right now. I've got some Skyrim music, but... but you can see that see the terrain in the background all looks pretty much the same. Oh, we've thrown some bones over here. Do they look realistic? Not really. And so far, the only mobs I've seen are humanoids and these hyenas. That's it. I'm sure there's a lot more. But in my first, like, 8 hours of play, that's all I've seen. And I've had my ass handed to me by 2 or 3 bandits at once, and it wasn't fun. Oh, there is a cave over here. And I made the mistake that I couldn't get a refund because I'd actually just played a few minutes past. So this is like a hyena barrel. I've played just a few minutes past, you know, so I couldn't refund it. So I wasn't real happy about that because I certainly would have liked to have gotten a refund on this game. But I think really the reason I want to make this video is to show you, because it kind of goes along with the other video I just made about how movement is really important in an RPG or an MMO or any computer game where you have combat and you're moving around in an open world. Movement and combat, and I haven't talked about combat in detail yet, but I will in my next video, is extremely important. It's one of the first, for me especially, for a lot of people, you know, is you really need to nail the movement of your character. You need to nail the combat. And then after that, then you have to look at the enemy AI and how they move and how they respond. Now, the hyenas pretty much do the same thing over and over again. They kind of walk around you in a circle, and then they dive forward, and they dive back. And if you swing at them, they dive back. And if you're lucky enough, for some reason, when you swing, sometimes they don't dive back, and you actually hit them. Your best bet is to do the stupid mechanic, which I absolutely can't stand, which is the tab key to lock on, which forces you to not even be able to rotate or move. You're basically locked in. It's as if you and the mob are standing in a very narrow hallway, and you can't move anywhere but forward and back in that hallway. That's what it's like when you lock in. I'm not sure who decided that was a good mechanic. I don't like it. I don't know why anybody would like it. And other thing, also, this world is not really. Oh, I'm surprised I'm able to go up here. This is really surprising to me, because in most places when I've tried to climb, I haven't been able to. So this is actually quite surprising. I don't know how I can climb. This is very surprising because there's other areas I tried to climb. Oh, so this is actually kind of cool. I'm excited that I was able to climb over this hill. I didn't think this was even available in this game. Because when I tried to climb a couple other walls, it wouldn't let me. And also, well, a lot of that was in the start area, though. In the start area, it's very, blocked off. So we get over here, and we've got some purple-looking, we've got some very bizarre-looking mountain over here. With some sort of circular apparatus winding around the top. Now we're getting to the very realistic world of purple and God who knows what. I see some strange lighting. See, at first I thought it was a shadow moving over this, but it's not. It's actually these plants for some reason are changing color, which is a little unusual. And again, it's the same grass textures. These are the exact same grass that was outside our village. It's just, instead of green, they made it purple and blue and light blue, pulsating. Woohoo! Pulsating grass. So yeah, really, the more I walk around and play it, the more I'm disappointed. I'm really shocked that people like this game. I mean, look at these graphics. Look at this pillar. I mean, honestly, I could go into Blender and create this in a couple minutes. These textures. And again, here, the stairs. I mean, this is like Oblivion. This is like Elder Scrolls Oblivion or something. Circa textures, circa graphics. And I think what's really disappointing in general is that most of the games you play nowadays, at least the ones I play, are a big disappointment. People are can knock on me all they want, but when I pay like $60, which is a lot of money, that's a lot of money. And I make a lot of money, so I can afford to throw $60 around pretty easily. It's not a problem, but still, I want to get quality for that. What is this?
What do you need?
I need you to stop wearing candles on your shoulders like it's a fashion thing. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this horrible video of me making fun of Outward. The only reason I'm playing games like this is I'm waiting for Pantheon Rise to Fall. I'm waiting for an MMO to come out that actually is exciting again and fun again. The genre's kind of dead right now. If you guys want to play Outward, if you can get past the bad graphics, the bad combat system, the game is got a lot to it, I think. I've watched some other videos out there, and some people seem to really like it. There's magic, and there's different type of skills, and and there doesn't seem to be like a leveling. It doesn't look like you're leveling at all. You're just learning new things. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say about that. I mean, maybe if I play the game some more, I'll like it more. But at this point in time, I find this game extremely disappointing. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.